In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Wolfpack to create your alignment data so you can lay out the horizontal curve in the field. I have Wolfpack already open. You can either use these tabs down here, and this is the tab for the horizontal curve staking notes. So I'm going to pull it down from the Programs tab, Curve Computations, Horizontal Curves. So I'm going to go ahead and click Horizontal Curves and click on Staking Notes. When I do that, it's going to ask me for a title. So I'm going to say, I'll call it Valencia Road 1, Curve 1. Now you have to have two pieces of information to define the curve. I'm going to use the intersection angle and the curve radius because the intersection angle we know because we laid out the alignment of the curve. So we know the degrees, we can figure out the intersection angle or the delta angle doing this. I'm going to use the arc definition for the calculations. It's in English units. Now, the intersection angle, I can either look at the data that I got from Civil 3D or I can even pull down and use the data that's in our Civil 3D drawing itself. So I've got 30 degrees, 13 minutes, and 10 seconds. Notice it's 10 seconds here, but from the data that actually from the toolbox, it's 9.9984. This is because it's doing a calculation and not rounding. Now, if there is only one place value, let's say it was 3 minutes, put a 0 in first, okay? Now the radius is going to be 130. I'm going to use the PI station because we will actually know this station when we lay out our alignment. So I'm going to say the station's 15 plus 59.69. I'm getting that data from my Civil 3D. Now the station distance that I want to talk about is typically we have it every 100 feet, but because this is such a small radius, then I'm going to put every 25 feet so I can lay out the curve every 25 feet. Other computation options are your coordinates. We did a whole homework assignment on figuring out the coordinates of these stations. So you could go ahead and click that, and then you'd be using it for example, for GPS or a total station, robotic total station. We're actually going to do it by the incremental chord method. So we're all set up, so I'm going to click OK. Now, I'm going to save it out as horizontal curve layout data, curve 1 layout data, and click OK. What you get is this information here. I have curve 1. It also gives me all of the curve data the same as what the Civil 3D does. So I've got my intersection angle, my degree of curvature, my radius. Notice that these are to 2 decimal places and they don't exactly match these. The reason is because this has got such a rounding error in it. It's going to 2 decimal places and keeps cutting information off. So it might not look 100%, so it's always losing maybe a decimal place. Now the other information is, notice down here, here's the station. I start the curve at 15 plus 24.59 and I end it at station 1593.16. Now it gives me my chord distances and then it gives me my deflection angles for each chord. I have an incremental deflection angle that we would be using out in the field to lay out the curve. So I'm going to take this data, I'm just going to highlight it. So this is one way you can get it into your report because this is the information that you're going to end up putting in your engineering report and your final report. So I'm going to hit Control on my keyboard and C for Control Copy. I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. I'm going to open up a blank document. I'm going to go Control on my keyboard and V for Control Paste. Now it's got a lot of spacing in it. Yours may or may not end up showing with this much spacing, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So here's a little Word document information. So I'm going to highlight everything. Underneath the paragraph, the Home tab in the paragraph, everybody's might not be the same type of Word document, but you should have the option to click down and it says line and paragraph spacing. Remove the space after the paragraph. And you also only want one line spacing. Okay, so there's what your information is. All right, so that's it for this video. If you have problems with the Civil 3D or the Wolfpack, let me know and I'll help you in class.